Good morning. Welcome to Monday Motivations, and Judy V here from Tribe of Traders. How are you doing? I trust you had a great, wonderful weekend. December, beginning of December. It is now 30 days to the end of the year, end of 2019. And I am choosing to see 2020 as an incredible year of transformation for me, my business, and everybody. I mean, I don't know, it's just a special 2020. I think we talk about 2020 vision, we talk about eyes being the windows to the soul, and I just think there's so much going for next year. And I've been doing my planning for next year personally and in my business and so on over the past few weeks. And the closer it gets, the more excited I am about the opportunity and the potential. And I was just thinking that, like people I speak to, they sort of that's just another year, just another year. Yeah, it can be another year. Or it can be something that you put a meaning to it, right? Because everything is only what a meaning you apply to it, right? So we could elect to make it really special, make it really, really unique and really special. But what stops that is what I actually want to focus on. And I actually want to focus on that a lot this month, and that is our beliefs. And recently, I was flying, a couple of months ago, I think I was flying over to the States. I watched this movie, Tiny and I watched this movie called The Mule with Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood acted in it. I think he also directed it. And he's 89 years old, right? And he is still working, acting, directing, doing everything, living life to the full, right? And in that movie, there is a phenomenal song, and it's called Don't Let the Old Man In. And the guy who wrote it having been inspired by Clint Eastwood, right? Inspired by his approach to life. Because the guy said to Clint Eastwood, apparently, how do you keep going? You're 89 years old, how do you keep going? And Clint Eastwood said to him, just don't let the old man in. And that is the title of the song. Well, it was a whole big conversation. You can actually look it up on Google. It's well documented. And also, I'd really recommend the song. It is amazing. It really is. But in it, there's a line, how old would you be if you did not know the day you were born? I was like, wow. That is incredible. Now, obviously, epitomizes, because there was some dialogue between the songwriter and Clint Eastwood around this. I think his grandmother didn't know the day she was born, and I just think that sentence, that phrase, that line is so powerful. I really think it's so powerful, and especially I thought it was important for today, the message I have for today, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that every single one of us can reach exactly what it is that we would love to achieve and be, do, and have, whatever we'd love to be, do, and have. I have absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever, okay? The only thing that's stopping it, the only one thing that's stopping it is the beliefs that we carry with us, okay? Or what I've now started to call the double glazing effect, okay? The stronger those beliefs, the stronger that double glazing effect is, right? And the stronger the stronger those beliefs, the stronger you're running from your head and not your, what I call the heart center, okay? And it's 100% the beliefs that is what makes us do what we do. And what we do impacts the results that we get. And when you think about how old you'd be if you did not know the day you were born, you think about that, how would you be? Because as kids, everyone as children, you're unstoppable. Unstoppable in terms of what you would love to achieve, what you believe you can achieve, what you deserve to achieve, your rightfulness for it. Okay. But as we get older and older and more mature, we sort of fit more in with society and become more normalized and socialized, and we've got to act our age and all this stuff. And it is just stuff. Okay. What if we didn't know when we were born? We didn't know what day it was, what year it was. Just what if? Just what if? What would that do? What different approach would you take to life? What transformation would come from letting go of age, of time? Because we put so much belief, judgment, emotion onto where we think we should have been, what we should have done, what we should have achieved, where we should be at, what we should have, what we should be by this stage. But what about just letting go of all of that and just taking every single opportunity as it comes every single day? The more we step away from being run by our beliefs, more we step away from applying a meaning, a judgment to things that happen or things that come up, the more we will be able to hear the truth from our heart center. Because the more meaning you apply to stuff and things, and the more reactionary you are with emotions, the more polarized you'll be, the more you shrink the possibilities, the more you shrink the limitless opportunities that there are in life, and the more you polarized you are, and the more stagnant you will be. The moment you get into that heart center, you collapse time completely. There is absolutely no limit on what is possible when you collapse time like that. That is essentially what it would do if you were to let go of the judgment you might have about age, about where you think you should be, what you should have or be or do by now, what the results is you should be getting. If you're trading, if you're wealth building, you're building a career, whatever it is. What if you did not know the day you were born? What if you didn't know? What does it matter? Because all that matters is the now. And what I want to do for the next 30 days is I'm going to be talking about and exploring my beliefs, okay, to an even greater, deeper level. Because as much as I've done so much work on my own beliefs that have literally transformed my life beyond recognition, and the moment I recognized that, that was about 20 years ago now. The moment I recognized that, within 6 months, my life changed. I went from literally homeless, no money. I wasn't sleeping on the street, so I was living in a room outside a friend's house. I had no money, no relationship, completely, I had lost everything, having been victim to my history, victim to my circumstance. The moment I realized the whole thing, it's like, I get to choose the meaning I apply to stuff. The moment I realized that, and I made the decision to apply the meaning that supports me and doesn't drag me down, I collapsed time immediately in that moment. And the opportunities that you start seeing are just incredible and mind-blowing. Within 6 months, I had an international business, I had a home, I had a relationship with my now lover, husband, partner. Everything changed. Everything changed in that moment of decision. and that just took 6 months. Time is irrelevant. There is no such thing as time when you collapse it to that point where you stop applying meaning to, you start applying judgment and polarized meanings to things, challenges, situations. When you stop doing that and just seeing everything as it is, on the way, not in the way, everything as it is, it's serving you, it starts crumbling. How I see it is, it literally starts, can you imagine like decay on a tooth, right? You see these ads for toothpaste and stuff like that. You see decay on a tooth. When they do these, like, you see an image of an animation image of brushing teeth, and you see all the decay crumbling away. That's how I see our beliefs. Because every time you act on a belief, what you're physically doing is you're building protein up around the belief. But every time you say, stuff that, I'm not doing that, I'm not applying that meaning, I choose not to apply that meaning, I choose not to have that belief, that limiting belief that's screwing up my life. Every time you say, you choose and opt for to let go of that limiting belief, every time you do that, what you are doing is you're knocking the protein off that neuron that's synaptically connected, that is keeping that belief alive in your brain. That's what's happening. So every time you choose to do that, you're crumbling away that protein, just like you're crumbling away the decay that's keeping that neuron connected, synaptically connected there, and you're rewiring your brain every time you do that. And the interesting thing is, like, it doesn't have to take long. 1 or 2 times, or even sometimes just once, doing it once, stopping back, realizing that's a belief. Where did that come from? Does it even belong to me? Is it even mine? Where did it come from? Does it serve me? And the moment you start opening that line of inquiry internally, everything starts changing. Everything starts changing. And I have absolutely no doubt, zero doubt whatsoever, that if we just make the decision that 2020 is going to be the year that changes everything, no matter what, make that decision. Already just that making that decision, but meaning it, and being able to hear the beliefs, the noise, the Jiminy Crickets at the back of your head, being able to hear them, write it down. I hear you, I see you, acknowledge it, right? Fine, it's there. But you know what? It's there, we can deal with it. Those noises in the head, because it's only the amygdala, it's only the ego. It's trying to protect you. That's what's going on there, because the amygdala is, it's almost like the seat of our seat of our brain that protects us, right? It tries to protect us from predator and prey, right? Which is what is the whole, like, fight or flight. You got to be right, you got to, with the predator and prey scenario going on, you have to be right. And that's what drives us. That's why we apply emotions things. That's why we apply judgment things. This is why we get polarized, fight or flight. That's why you get polarized. That's okay. It has a place when you're in the wilds and you, like, might be predator or you might be prey, right? Or when you're you're crossing a highway and there's lorries and trucks and buses and all that. Predator, prey, that's a good idea. But that's where it belongs. It doesn't belong anywhere else in our life. It doesn't belong in us, in our vision for what we have, or what we would love to be, do, and have in life. It doesn't belong there. What does belong there is the voice of our heart, the voice of our heart and soul, our heart center. That's what belongs there. That is what deserves to be listened to. That's where the truth of who we are sits. That's where we need to connect to in order to authentically live congruently with our values, and also be in tune with the vision that we have for our life. And that is what's going to allow you to step into it now, and not be afraid to step into it now, and not be constantly saying, oh, when my ship comes in, or when I do this, or when I lose 10 pounds, or when I get $10,000 in my account, or when I get a job. Stuff all that. It happens right now, this minute. It's a belief. It's just a decision that you take right now. It's a belief that either supports you or it doesn't. I see it all the time with trading. I see it every single time with trading. It is simply a decision. You become the master of your destiny, not the victim to your history. Okay, and by remaining a victim to your history, is you're allowing the amygdala, you're allowing your ego, you're allowing your head, and you're giving that honor over the heart, and you're giving that more value than your heart, and you're going to be driven by outside forces, because that's where you become a reactionary, and that's where life happens to you rather than you happen to life. One thing I cannot handle, and I do not allow in my life, is I will never allow life to happen to me. I happen to life. And I can't tell you how powerful that is, because then you are not sort of swayed this way and then that way and wishy-washy by outside forces, living to their agenda, living to their what they believe or think or feel you should be doing, and subjugating yourself to others in community and family and society, whatever it is. Okay, but when you take control and you decide the direction your life will take, you become incredibly empowered. And the more you do that, the more you are living from the heart center. And I've said this so often, that when you're doing that, when you're living in that zone, in that inspired zone, inspired from within, there will be no procrastination. You will not have frustration. You will not have doubt. You will not have decisions to make. That's the big thing. How often have you really mulled and over a decision and tortured over a decision? Should I do this? Should I not? Should I? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Decisions become void. There are no decisions to be made when you're living 100% from the heart center, because you are following an inspiration. You're following a knowing. You just know what needs to be done. Okay. And so you make a mistake and you get a challenge. Super duper. That's life's way of nudging you back on track. Okay. It is my mission to get people to stop seeing challenges as something to run away from, but rather something to run towards. If you're not being challenged, how do you know if you're on the right track? It's the universe's way of keeping you on track. I embrace challenges. I love challenges. It's my mission to get the world to stop running from challenges, because when you're running from challenges, you're polarized. You're seeing that there is more harm than benefit in that challenge. And what you're going to be doing is constantly running away from pain and towards gain, towards pleasure, away from pain. And what the universe is going to do is constantly give you challenges in order to knock you back into the center. Because the universe wants you desperately to live congruent with what's in your heart, and to live and step into the life that you were born here to be, do, and have. And that is not something that you wait to do. It's what you do right now, this minute, the next minute, and the next minute. That's what you do. It's not when you've got 10,000 in your account. It's not when you've lost the 10 pounds or whatever it is. It is now. This is all about. And the more you do that, the more you step into that, the more you acknowledge that you are, when you are reacting and when you are emotional, when you are polarized, you are listening to the noise of the head. You're listening to what I call the double glazing effect, the outer glass, right? The outer glass, which is the head, and the inner glass, which is the heart center. And the less space there is between those two panes of glass, the harder it is to hear the heart center. The more space there is, the more you'll know what's coming from the head. We'll always get that. I get that. We always get, and I'm on a mission now to become even more aware of the beliefs that I have that are driving me. Okay, this next 30 days, I'm on a mission. I want to even get to a whole new level of understanding how the beliefs are still limiting me, right? but the more space there is between those two panes of glass, the more you can hear those beliefs, the voice of those beliefs, and you not only hear it but see and witness how you are subjugating yourself to that noise rather than being inspired and having true faith and self-worth enough to listen and follow the voice of the heart. It's been scientifically proven our heart is like 5,000 to 20,000 times more powerful than the brain. Then why do we give the brain so much more energy than the heart? Okay, so I wanted this month, I'm going to be doing several sessions in the trading community and in the wealth building with Judy V community. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of training on how we separate those two panes of glass in the double glazing, because you've got the two panes of glass of double glazing. That was something I learned when I came to the UK, because in South Africa we don't have it. But you've got two panes of glass and it keeps the cold out, right? You've got the inner and you've got the outer, which protects, which gets all the wind and the hail and the rain and all that sort of stuff, right? But that's the outer one is the noise of the voice of the head. The inner one is the truth of the heart center. And so often they're like this. You're reacting on all of the outer glass, you're reacting and you're living on that zone. It's like you're just tipping the tip of the iceberg, right? And you're drowning out the heart center. That is hell. That is the definition of hell. Okay, for me, that is the epitome of hell. All right, heaven is when you separate it. You are here. You will never be away from it. It has a place. You'll always have the amygdala, the fight or flight, the need to be right. We'll always have that. But you're inspired from within to acknowledge it and make a decision. Is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate? Okay. But your decisions become null and void because you have an inner knowing of what it is you're going to be, do, and have in your life, and you're stepping into it now. Do not put it off any longer. It starts now, today. What if you did not know the day you were born? What if? And you were back in that as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14, 15, 17, 18, 20-year-old, whatever it is, where life was just full of opportunities. It still is. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So join me, guys. Join me. And on this 30-day challenge to really, really get to know what our beliefs are, to get to know how they are driving our everyday decisions, how they are making us polarized, how they're making us reactionary, emotional about what we do, how it is stopping us connecting with our heart center, stopping us from stepping into who we were born to be, do, and have on this life. Okay, start separating them out. The more you start consciously separating them out, the more you will actually hear and see the difference. And you will be able to hear what's coming from the head, and you'll say, haha, thank you, got you, but no thanks, back to bed. And then you're going to listen to the voice of the heart. Okay, it just becomes like that. I promise you. I've experienced it. I've seen it. Okay, I've seen it. You come so far apart, you can actually hear it, and you get to choose whether you want to listen to it or not. Okay, 9 times out of 10 you won't, right? So it is wonderful. Anyway, so hi guys. Choices. Absolutely. Hi Kat, how are you doing? Hi Pat. Kat and Pat. Hi. And Patricia. Hi. Yeah. So 30-day challenge, right? I really want to join me on this, and let's just really start exploring what our beliefs are, and let's live life on our terms, not live life on life's terms. Does that make sense? You know, when I say on life's terms, I'm meaning where you're subjugating yourself to outside forces. But when you start living life on your terms, you're inspired from within, where you happen to life and life doesn't happen to you. Makes sense? Have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in. Catch you on Wednesday for Wednesday Wake Up. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.